Blaz is back in Japan and beating up the best players on the planet, and there was one particular highlight that Blaz is back in Japan and terrorizing the best players on the planet there, but there was a specific highlight that's been... doing it again! We're doing it again. No mistakes, no stutters, just clear, eloquent communication to prepare an engaging intro and video on a topic of discussion of interest to the people. Blaz is back in Japan again and beating up on the best players on the planet, and there was one particular highlight that caught my attention and the rest of the community here. Shoyu Sengen says, yeah, time to go back into training mode. So let's check out this highlight here. Blaz, of course, on the Sagat. Perfect parry on reaction to the heavy punch lemon. Look at the combo conversion. Back heavy punch to charge heavy punch with Sagat. Goes in for the pressure. Finds a little bit of corner control here against the Dhalsim. One button, double perfect parry on the OD fireball into the dash under to make the jump heavy punch whiff. So if you don't know ball, you might have been more impressed initially by this interaction here. And Blaz has historically shown his propensity to perfect parry limbs on reaction. Dhalsim always has an extended hurt box on the heavy punch, so you know everyone in the cast can get this perfect parry into some type of punish. But really, the awareness here from Blaz to get the single button, to be aware of the two-hit OD fireball coming down upon his head, to get the double perfect parry, 2-frame window on each one of these individual hits of the projectile to nullify the actual projectile itself to be able to move immediately, because if you miss the window, you're stuck there and blocks them, which would allow Dhalsim to teleport out. Dash under, because he knows Torimeshi here is going to be flowcharting the sequence to get the block stun on the side swap of the heavy punch to make the heavy punch whiff into an unskilled punish counter conversion to put Dhalsim back into the corner. I have never seen this sequence ever in Street Fighter 6, and it just shows the level of supreme awareness Blaz has. And I highlight that in this tweet here. Every time I see Blaz against Dhalsim, my mind is blown. It's like Blaz was put on this earth to absolutely dismantle Dhalsim as a character fundamentally. And I say that because Dhalsim has actually had a really interesting role in Blaz and his come up in the past year or so. You know, the 15-year-old, 16-year-old Chilean prodigy who got second place at Capcom Cup, Esports World Cup, and now EVO France, taking down the best players on the planet along the way and nearly securing some of the biggest titles we have to offer in the world of Street Fighter. And each one of these stops in his career so far, he's had to take down world-class Dhalsim players to go the distance. And along that journey, I've actually noticed that Blaz is actually incredibly good in the Dhalsim matchup and has answers to situations that I wasn't even aware of. So I wanted to highlight a lot of Blaz matches here against Dhalsim along his journey at these major tournaments to see how Blaz has actually dismantled Dhalsim on his journey and why it pays off to actually know this matchup inside and out. And the primary driving force here, you could argue, for Blaz knowing the matchup so well is because he has to compete against Shaka 22, one of the best Dhalsim players in the world out of his region in South America East. And actually, Shaka and Blaz were on Team 2 game at Street Fighter League USA this past season. They actually got to team up together, so you might have seen his Dhalsim in that tournament. But these two players have to play each other very frequently because they're competing in the same region for Capcom Cup. So this is from the CPT 2024 season where Blaz actually qualified for Capcom Cup. This is the South America East World Warrior number 5. Final game, final round between these two players. Blaz in the corner in burnout. A DI stun will kill him. You see Shaka whiffing the jabs to fake him out for the DI, but he reacts to the random drive rush with the back throw, gets the hit confirm on the donkey kick there into the level 3 to turn the tides in his favor. And now Shaka has 2 bars of super. He can potentially super through a DI. Blaz trying to find the final strike to close it out. A safe super attempt, drive reversal knockdown into the checkmate situation, into the DI. And Blaz ends up taking another World Warrior event, which would let him then qualify into Capcom Cup. And the rest is history. And just to explain why this is such great awareness in this one instance, the super here from Shaka is actually safe on block at distance. This is only, I believe, like -8 on block. That's level 1. So if Blaz didn't go for the drive reversal here, maybe he could get a sweep if there wasn't enough pushback, but generally you're not going to be able to punish a lot of Dhalsim level 1s. So with the drive gauge and meter economy, you see that Shaka no longer has level 2, which means he doesn't have an invincible super to escape a DI. So once he gets the drive reversal knockdown spending 2 bars, he knows he can set up a meaty checkmate situation by doing a drive rush button into DI with his 1.5 bars of drive gauge remaining, essentially securing a checkmate. So great awareness there in this matchup here. And really, this is when Blaz was on the radar for me when I started to watch him versus Shaka. I was like, dude, this kid is the real deal. The way he punishes Dhalsim, with punishes him from full screen and plays the footsie game at long range is absolutely remarkable. And qualifying here by getting enough points, you can see that Blaz was actually the point leader in the South America East region. He didn't have to get first place there. He could have got second, but he had to fight Shaka many times and learn this Dhalsim matchup really well to allow him to become the point leader in the South America East region. And once he qualified via having the most points from this region, he would go on to dominate in Capcom Cup until Kakadu went on to actually stop him and get him to be eliminated at second place. After Capcom Cup, once Blaz made his mark on the competitive community, of course, he got to participate in the Esports World Cup. And in that tournament, he actually had to play a first of 5 against another world-class Dhalsim, one of the OGs of the Dhalsim community here, YHC Mochi. Blaz here is 16 years old, and I believe Mochi is like 40 or 41. He might even be older, but like it's crazy that Mochi is almost 30 years Blaz senior in this match. And here Blaz actually chose Ken in the Dhalsim matchup to show more of his matchup awareness in this first of 5 set. So first round here, Blaz with the Ken, drive rush in, knowing that the fireball arc is going to leave a gap there, good enough time for him to get in there, gets the corner pressure, with punish under the stand heavy kick into the drive rush cancel.
You can kind of see what
fishing with the perfect parries from full screen. Yeah, he's trying to react to any limb and get a perfect parry on it to get a punish. And then the whiff punish there on the slide, knowing the spacing. But just to show like that we know that YHC Mochi is in for an uphill battle. The awareness in this situation to see the fireball quick rise this knockdown setup and understand the advantage that he can get a drive rush in and get a pressure sequence before the fireball can come down and before Dhalsim can recover and interrupt him. It's great matchup awareness and just showing off like at a distance. You're going to see him press parry on reaction to limbs and try to fish for that. He will be playing the full screen footsie game with these limbs the entire time and just very aware of the options, setting the tone for this set in the first round. Then here we have the final round of the first game. Blaz has YHC Mochi in the corner here. Double perfect parry to OD fireball underneath the OD fireball, then the back dash shimmy. This one is crazy, man. You're 30 years older than this kid. You go up to play him. You try to build some space with the fireball. 1 perfect parry, 2 perfect parry. You think you can throw a free OD fireball because he would be forced to block it if he missed the OD parry. The OD fireball will bounce and hit twice, let you build some screen space. Instead, he immediately perfect parries your regular fireball, throws his own OD fireball at that exact same time, drive rushes in for a full combo. The OD fireball from Dhalsim is going to chase him down in this instance. He knows how to end the combo properly to recover in time. Blaz knows he's forced to block this OD fireball. You try to use that frame advantage after the knockdown to get a back throw to swap sides, but he backdashes to bait your throw tech in that instance and gets the shimmy with the stand leg kick, or the throw with the stand leg kick. That's how you know suddenly, wait, I'm fighting a different type of dude right here. And it just continues to go a little bit downhill and sideways for Mochi in this set. He does manage to get a game on the board, but here we're at 2-1. Blaz 1 round away from bringing this up 3-1 in the set. Pushing Mochi to the corner, and the whip punish on the limb. I mean, this one is a short and sweet clip just to really emphasize how Blaz is always looking for the whip punishes on the limbs. He's actually playing footsies with Dhalsim at full screen. I love the way he maneuvers here. So he uses this fireball here to approach on the flow, and once he gets into this footsie range, it's a real subtle conditioning that he establishes for this interaction. So he walks into range where crouching medium punch would be a great option for Dhalsim, then walks right back out to bait out the button press, immediate whiff punish on the limb with a crouching medium punch, drive rush cancel into the full combo conversion. And he understands the individual ranges of what buttons Dhalsim wants to press at each different range and how to maneuver in and out and play footsies in each of these different pockets of spacing along the screen, along with just straight up reacting to the limbs with the perfect parry and dissipating the fireballs with perfect parry as well. So when you start whiff punishing Dhalsim limbs like that, you know the Dhalsim player is going to start second-guessing their options and lose their confidence as the set goes on. Another round here. Blaz about to go up 4-1. Just walk forward, stand MK out of the air. And this is when the pain is setting in. I start to feel kind of bad for my mans here. Look at this one more time, right? Perfect parry in the fireball. You think you can set up your OD fireball comfortably. No, you cannot. And just walk forward on the float. And Mochi on that, oh my god, he reels in pain in that moment. He's like, what the hell? I can't do anything. All my typical tricks, all my normal options are just being completely destroyed by this kid. I think that's the last clip we have for Mochi versus Blaz, but it's safe to say Blaz ends up taking the set 5-1 and just absolutely picks apart Mochi in every interaction. And the rest is history from this one as well. So Blaz ends up, he took out Itabashi Zangi 5-0, beat Mochi 5-1, beats Lashar 5-3 before losing in that legendary set versus Xiaohai 5-4 last round, netting him a cool $130,000 in that set. But it goes to show that it pays to know the Dhalsim matchup, right? That Dhalsim matchup got him into Capcom Cup where he won 100K. It got him to get further in the Esports World Cup where it netted him 130K. So it kind of pays to know that Dhalsim matchup, because even though Dhalsim is not the most popular competitive pick, they are lurking in these brackets at high level, and you can get your run stopped by them if you're not prepared. And Blaz is definitely prepared. So prepared that when he got to his first EVO top 8 at EVO France, he had to go up against the hometown hero, Mr. Crimson, and had to deal with not only arguably the best Dhalsim player on the planet, but the entire country of France cheering against him. So he busts out the Ken again for this matchup against Mr. Crimson, this top 8. And Mr. Crimson's going to have to see what Blaz can bring in this matchup firsthand. Run DP immediately on the floats. Snipes him out of the air. Trade combo. Understands the advantage he gets straight into the level 2.
Incredible showing so far from Blaz already. Oh, he tried to get him to press something right there.
Look at the DP range awareness, sniping the float out of the air right there. One throw in there, and the driver's throw. First game, it was a quick first game for Blaz. Crimson's like, okay, wait a minute. This kid really knows the matchup. I can't just get away with any option here. So it was business as usual with Blaz in the Ken Dhalsim matchup until, of course, this legendary moment where Blaz may have gotten a little comfy styling too hard. Amazing bait from Blaz here, just to explain this interaction. He's on set point against Mr. Crimson, and one more interaction will potentially kill Crimson here. He goes into the sequence in the corner, the target combo from Ken. This is -14 on block, this target combo, meaning you are generally incentivized to cancel into a special move like Jinrai to make this safe on block. If you cancel into Jinrai, though, you are susceptible to eating a DI because it will not be DI safe unless you have something like a level 3 available to cancel out of the Jinrai. Mr. Crimson knows that because his target combo is so unsafe on block, you're probably going to cancel into a special move. The counter to that is DI to beat that. Blaz purposely in the situation, in the final potential round of this set, goes for the target combo and doesn't cancel into anything, leaving him wide open for punishment if you call it out. But Crimson expects him to go for the obvious option of canceling to a special move and instead goes for the DI. Blaz here laid the bait. Crimson took it, reacts with his own DI and return, gets the burnout, gonna get the combo. Crimson has no invincible super to escape. This should be guaranteed victory for Blaz, but he goes for the chip instead. He could have gone straight into DI. It would have been guaranteed, no escape. He goes for the chip instead, which allows Crimson to punish. Doesn't get run DP there. Maybe a mistake on an execution error. Drive reversal knockdown. Level 1 available for Blaz. He spends it on the media projectile. Now it's checkmate here. No way out. And Crimson, with the comeback of the year, takes it there. Finally, someone able to get some momentum here with Dhalsim up against Blaz right there with the home crowd cheering him. Crimson's like, holy crap, I can barely believe it myself. So, in my opinion, I do think there's a bit of a flub here. Now, I'm not sure if on this setup, Blaz could have gone from heavy punch into DI directly without leaving enough of a gap for him to teleport out of it. But he definitely could have gone on this knockdown, just drive rush into a button to get a guaranteed block string to kill him. He was going for a little bit of swag with the full chip sequence to press some more buttons, miscalculated, and allowed Crimson to start making the comeback. And then in this situation here, any chip would also kill Crimson. And so it looks like he was about to go for run DP on a certain interaction, and I'm not sure if he missed the DP or if he wasn't confident if Crimson would teleport there or not. Potentially he delayed the DP cancel out of the run, fearing a teleport or not, but he could have easily just gone into DP and killed as well. So a lot of crazy interactions there allowed Crimson to make that comeback to bring it to a 2-2 final game in this loser semifinal set at EVO France. But in the end, Crimson here needs to make another clutch comeback as Blaz is on set point once more. Blaz just preventing any conversion to CA. The only way Crimson can really win here is CA. Then, of course, once again, it's the perfect parry. Like, the combination of the matchup awareness and Blaz's impeccable top tier perfect parry ability allows him to nullify so many aspects of Dhalsim's metagame and toolkit. This perfect parry here means that he's able to interrupt any follow-up action from Crimson with this Dhalsim in this instance. So every single time you perfect parry Dhalsim, they are generally expecting you to not perfect parry it to allow him to set up the next limb, the next projectile. This perfect parry to OD Fireball shuts down any options, interrupts the heavy punch there from Crimson, and gives Blaz the set. And of course, Blaz would then go on to make it to Grand Finals once again in his third Super Premiere in a row, where he eventually would fall to Lachar. Lachar would end up taking this EVO France, and Blaz getting second again. But it goes to show that it really does pay to know the Dhalsim matchup. I think, personally, Blaz is maybe the best player against Dhalsim on the planet, at least the most entertaining, in my opinion, to watch. And yeah, that could help you potentially win hundreds of thousands of dollars if you know the Dhalsim matchup. And all the other matchups as well that you have to beat to get there. But it does pay to know. All right, that's all I got for this video. Thanks for watching, guys. I'm out. Peace.